Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Akhandamandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Hari Om. So we stopped at verse number 61. We'll start from verse number 62 onwards. He says, Yathaiva Shunya Vetalo Gandharvanam Puram Tatha Yatha Yathaiva Shunye Vetalo Gandharvanam Puram Tatha Yatha Kashe Dvichandratvam Tat Satye Jagat Sthiti Yatha Kashe Dvichandratvam. So, Yathaiva Shunye, in the sky, or Shunya here basically will mean empty space. And you see, let us say that, see, what does the Veda say? Veda says that there is fear only when there are two. Until there is one, as long as there is only one that is existing, there cannot be any fear, right? I mean, if there is only one thing that is existing, is there anything to be afraid of? Now, let us say, for example, you are very clear that you are in a safe house where the doors are locked, there is a security guard and so on and so forth, and you are alone in the house. If there is a noise somewhere, you will not feel afraid. You will say it is some natural phenomenon. Correct? Why? Because you know that you are alone. But the moment that sense of security is gone and there is some tuck sound, chor aaya kya? What happened? Chuha se leke chor. It could be anything. And you have jumped up from wherever you are. Your mind has become vichalita and you have started running around trying to find out where that sound has come from. Why? Because you know that you are not alone. And that consciousness or that awareness, not consciousness, that awareness that you are not alone causes the fear. So, I mean, even in childhood, I never understood this statement of my mother. She always used to say, don't go there. There is nobody over there. I'm sure most of our parents have told us this. There is nobody over there. And I always used to respond. Right? With mothers, you can always have the same dialogue again and again, right? They have the right to say the same things. You have the right to answer the same way. So I always used to say, if there is nobody, what is to be afraid of? Now, you are walking in the jungle. I don't know if you have ever been into a safari in the jungle or somewhere. Suddenly, one branch, nothing is moving. One branch suddenly starts shaking. Right? Possibly there is an insect over there, there is a snake over there, there is some animal over there, and it has shaken. And how do you react? Right? Just exactly as there is nothing over there, and yet that leaf is shaking, we see these ghosts in our mental creation. Yatha shunye vetalo. Or when we were children, we have lost that capacity of wonder. You see, when we were children, we used to look at the clouds and we used to see things, right? Dragons, bears, lions, all sorts of things used to come in the clouds. Now, are those lions, dragons, bears real? Obviously not. Right? These are pigmentations of our imagination that we are creating over there. you were there with us, Partha, when we were going to the Kailash Yatra, and in the satsang in the evening, Sadguru, somebody approached Sadguru and said that I saw Shiva and Parvati in the sky. And his response was, then you should be very careful because Nandi will give droppings also.
Yeah.
Right? Now, see, that is because that Shiva Parvati in the sky is a figmentation of my imagination. Was it good for him? Yes, for that temporary, momentary feeling. Yes, oh, I felt so nice. I saw Shiva. You saw Shiva or Parvati in a dream. Is that good or bad? Again, it is possibly a figmentation of your imagination. But Sri Thakur used to say, if you see such things in your dream, if you see such things in your imagination, it is good. Not that it is as long as you recognize it as your imagination. It is good to have such imagination. Why? Because you are not imagining Kamini and Kanchan. You are imagining something better. Because there is Krishna in your mind, because there is Shiva in your mind, your subconscious, even in its sleep, is creating those images. It is good that you are doing that. But you have to understand that that is also an imagination. Thakur was very clear about this. He would not say, oh, you dreamt of Radha Krishna. Very good, very good. Let us go to Vrindavan. No, nothing of that sort. You dreamt of Radha Krishna means intensify your sadhana so that you now see Radha Krishna when you are awake. And then you see Radha Krishna in everything that you see around you. Sarvam Vishnumayam Jagat, you reach. That used to be the sadhana. So here what is happening is Acharya is clearly giving us very beautiful examples. Yatheva shunya vetalo gandharvanam puram yatha. The gandharvanam puram, palace is in the sky. Palace is in the sky, right? Oh, I can see the tower, I can see the flag, I can see, and then there is a beautiful sunset happening and reflection of some. Then there will be a pink light also coming on the clouds, and you can imagine the beautiful princess looking out of the window. All of that will come. Now that is Gandharvanam Puram, and sometimes because of our Brahma, because of our imagination, because of our physical inability, we sometimes see two moons, right? You can actually see two moons right now. You just press one eye like this, you will see dual images. Therefore, he says that excuse me for a second, I have to open the door. So what he says is, all these are appearances. These appearances are on the substratum of what is called truth. On the substratum of what is called the Sat, that which is existing. The existence. So Satye Jagatastiti. Satye Jagatastiti. Tadvat, so too, Satye Jagatstiti. So very beautifully here, Acharya has brought out saying that what you are perceiving as real through your indriyas is creating an image in your mind which is causing you to be, I don't know why this is, Arthada, I have muted you. I think there was some echo coming. You can unmute yourself whenever you want to talk. Sorry, you have to unmute if you are talking.
Can I ask you?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, see, what can you spend a little more time? This is a very interesting subject, this fear. You know, we all are fearful of something. Now, let me tell you about me. Fear for so many things. Fear about the future, fear about something non-existing. How to get over it? See, human beings, we have fear. So this fear, how can we totally, eliminate from our life? This is a very interesting subject.
So there are two ways by which you can be completely fearless. One, you have no perception of anything around you. Or you have a perception that anything that is around you is just part of you. There are only two states in which you are completely fearless. Anything in between, there will be degrees of fear. Fear, instinctive fear, the fear of preservation of the body, instinctive fear, right? We in neuro-linguistic programming and other such neurological sciences, it is called fight, flight, freeze reaction. This is also a fear, right? Something is going to happen to this. Now, preservation of the body, nothing wrong with it. It is necessary because the body is the vehicle. But my problem is that I identify with this and therefore my fear multiplies. Now I start projecting the fear into the future. Fear is always in the future. Fear is never in the past. In the past, there is only regret. I wish I could have, right? In the past, there is no fear. In the future, there is always fear. The fear that comes in the future is because you are projecting something that you are believing to be true. Somebody who I was, yes, Raghuji, I'll come back to you. Somebody I was working with, he gave a beautiful acronym. He used fear as an acronym. And he said, fear is false evidence appearing real. Such a beautiful example, acronym. False evidence appearing real. Vedanta says exactly that. The snake is not there, but I am seeing the snake. False evidence. It appears real to me because of my past. I have seen a snake somewhere. I have got the baggage somewhere which says that if a snake bites, somebody will die, you will get injured, and so on and so forth. And I have projected it into the future. Oh, this will happen to this body. This will happen to me. And my manas has accepted that as real and has taken fear. Yes, Raghuji, you want to elaborate on this?
Yeah, I actually, it's very interesting that, going back over the few verses, I think it was the 54th or 53rd verse, I started to realize that this concept of unreal, which I think because of the way we have been taught what is real, what is not real, our definition of reality is faulty. I mean, it says, I think in the 53rd or 54th, that, what is perceivable and what has consequence of its existence, that's what we think is real, because it's got a consequence and it is perceivable. I can perceive it. But what Acharya is saying here is impermanence. That which is permanent is real, and that which is not permanent is unreal. This is a completely different way to look at it. And it's very interesting, but I never thought of reality in that sense.
So even the word reality, see, when we look at reality, reality is a very loose English translation of the word sat. Right? Sat basically talks of what is existing. Now, that which is ephemeral, that which is transitory, that which is continuously changing is existing in that moment, but the next moment it is not there. So, on what did that change happen? It happened on something that is permanently existing, that is Sat. And hence the word mithya has again also been falsely, wrongly interpreted as mithya means false. It's not false. He uses the word, if I have to say Sat means real, then mithya is unreal. And therefore, yes, you are right. I am doing lip reading. Brahm. It is my Minaji said Brahm. So exactly, it is Brahm. Right? This is that which is happening outside is, it's not that it is not existing, but in the next moment it has changed. In the next fraction of a second, it has changed. And in that fraction of a change, that change has to happen on a substratum which has not changed at all. That is what we are trying to aim at. That is what we are trying to reach. But unfortunately, we cannot reach there directly. So we use what is called the Arundhati Darshana Nyaya. Arundhati Darshan in adult learning principles, Arundhati Darshan Nyaya is called making the unknown known through the known. Making the unknown known through the known. Right? In what happens is in South India, in the south of India, rather, not in South India, in the south of India, marriages are held only in certain months, which is true everywhere and all, but they are all specific to, generally in our culture, marriages are linked to agrarian behavior. So it will be when there is no harvesting to be done, right? Or there is no planting to be done. Those are the months when marriages are done. During those months, the Saptarishi is also visible in the sky. And in the traditional Tamil Brahmin marriage, there used to be a ritual called Arundhati Darshanam. In the evening, after the Saptarishi have risen, the husband takes the wife on his right side, puts his hand on her waist. Now, this is the first time he actually touches her, right? And he takes her to the window and he asks her, "Can you see Arundhati?" Now, why Arundhati? Because Arundhati is supposed to be a very brilliant woman. She's also very faithful. She walks along with Vashishta wherever he goes, and so on and so forth. All that let us leave aside. Arundhati is a binary star. Arundhati and Vashishta are a binary star system. Very, very faint, very, very difficult to see. Now, when the Saptarishi has just crossed the horizon, the husband points out and says, "Can you see Arundhati?" Now, obviously, this girl cannot see Arundhati. So the husband then says, "Okay, can you see the tree?" Yes. "Can you see the branch that is going on the left side?" Yes. "Can you go along the branch and you go to one point where the branch is breaking up and one going straight up?" Yes. "Go along that branch. Can you see there is a small fork over there?" Yes. "Can you take to the tip of that fork?" Yes. "Just now cross." Now, up to that tip, I can show you. After that, you have to see Arundhati. Right? Same thing. This is called Arundhati Darshana Nyaya, making the unknown known through the known. Now, therefore, Acharya is using these examples because of that. Because there is no way he can say, look, that is Sat. It cannot happen. Upanishad very clearly says the words cannot describe it, the mind cannot perceive it, and so on and so forth. Why? Because the mind, the body, they are also objects. We are looking for the subject. We are looking for the witness. Now, I cannot look for the witness because I am the witness. So, I am the witness and I'm looking for it. It cannot happen. So, in the last session, we were talking about this. Then you go back cause by cause by cause by cause. You reach that point where it is causeless cause. Now, for that, there are no words. No language, in any language, no language has words, not even Sanskrit, which is possibly the most refined of all languages because it is a created language. Even then, there are no words for it. The Vedas, which are completely Shruti, they don't have a word for it. Vedas are not Sanskrit, incidentally. Vedas are not pure Sanskrit. Sanskrit is derived from the Vedas. There is something called Veda Bhasha. I've spoken about this before. So therefore, Acharya is using so many examples. In the next verse again, he says, Yatha taranga kallolehi, Yatha taranga kallolehi, Jalameva spuratyalam, Jalameva spuratyalam, Patra rupena tamram hi, Patra rupena tamram hi, Brahmando ghe tathatmata, Brahmando ghe tastatmata. Yatha taranga kallole. Taranga kallole. Taranga means waves. Waves. Kallola means tides. Right? Taranga is waves. Kallola is tides. So, in Bengal, there is a... we have beautiful names. So, there is a... People have names called Kallol. So, Kallol, basically, you ask people what is the meaning of their name, they don't know. But it's a name that has come. Kallol means tides. Right? The coming and going both together is called a kallola. And taranga, waves. So he says, Yatha taranga kallole, jalameva, in water, purati, appears. Now, if you can just pay a little bit of attention to the example, you will see that the nature of the example has changed. In the first verse that we did, we saw Gandharva Puram, right? We saw Dvichandra. We saw Vetala. Now, this is my imagination. One type of mistake that we are making. In the other, now, you see, there is a physical apparent reality. The first one, there is no reality. There is no Vetala. There is no Gandharva Puram. There is no second moon. Now, in the next shloka, there is a slight change that has happened in the nature of the example that has been given. And it is important to understand this. When you look at this, he says, waves on the surface of water, or copper appearing in the form of pots. Copper appearing in the form of pots. Right? Patra rupena tamramhi. Patra rupena tamramhi. All patrams are coming from copper. Obviously, when Acharya is writing this, the iron or steel vessels were not in common use. Or at least I am presuming that. Patram. So all vessels that you are seeing are copper. All waves that you are seeing are water. So in the first one, he says, what is an apparent reality? You need to go beyond that. Now he says, what is even perceivable reality? You need to go beyond that. Because waves are perceivable. Patram is perceivable. I can see the vessel. I can feel the vessel. I can touch the vessel. What is inside? What makes up this patram? What makes up the wave? I am now going deeper. This is called vichara. This is called vichara. Actually, Acharya, I don't remember which work he has said this. I'll find it out. It's a beautiful line, 3 words. Avichara jagat bhavati. By not inquiring, this world has come into existence. The moment you inquire about it, it will vanish. So, avichara jagat bhavati. He says, you are not inquiring. You are not being curious enough. You are not questioning. Go deeper. This is Advaitic meditation. Advaitik Vichara, this is Advaitik Vichara, purest Advaitik Vichara. And that is why Acharya gives so beautiful, so powerful examples, and he makes us think. See, Aparokshanubhuti is a text. Now, how will I get that Anubhuti? So, the Upanishad says that there are three ways. Now, these are not three things to be done. The first is Shravanam. So, you go to the Guru. You have asked the question, Koham. He has given you some text to study. And he has told you, please study the text. So, you say, no. You tell me. You tell me. Right? Shvetaketu asks his father in Chandogya Upanishad, you tell me. And his father says, this, you are that. Tattvamasi. 27 times. He says, Tattvamasi, you are that. And at the end of it, he has got it. He has got it. And Shvetaketu has gone. There is no Shvetaketu anymore. Right? He identifies with Shvetaketu only for your benefit because he has to interact in the Vyavaharika world. But there is no more Shvetaketu. 27 times and he's gone. This is Shravanam. Guru Vakyena Shravanam Moksha Labhate. Just the Vakya. He says it, you get it, and you're gone. But that did not happen. Then what? Okay. So you take a text and you read it and you do mananam. And you get it. In the sense, you understand it. But it has not impacted you. Right? Asambhavata bhava. I understand it. It is logical. What you are saying is based in science. But I understand it. But it's not affecting me. Then what do? Study more text. Yes, please.
Yeah, going back into the 53rd or 54th verse, Gurudev gives a beautiful example about how a girl falls in love with a boy and both of them love each other, and the girl's family are explaining to her why the boy is a cheat and why he will cheat her and why he has cheated so many other girls, and everything she understands, she gets everything, but she cannot give up that affection for that boy. She will nod her head, she will accept and all that, but she cannot because she is still attached so closely to that boy. Exactly the same way we are attached to this world. We are not, while we know what is the truth, we are almost afraid to accept it.
So you're right. I'll talk about that fear of not accepting this also as another aspect of fear. However, you have got it, you've understood it, but you're still not actually getting it. It's not impacting you. Your understanding needs to be deepened. More text. Aparokshanubhuti over Tattvabodha. Tattvabodha over some other text. Right? Panchikarana. Whatever. Something or the other. We need to keep studying. Oh, I've studied all the text. I've understood it. But it's not practically possible for me to put it into practice. Viparita bhava. I'm still getting the fits of anger. I am still running after my rasgulla. Then what do? This is where then you need to sit down and do Advaitik Vichara. And you say, question. Okay, so what is this rasgulla? The moment you sit down and question for the rasgulla's vasana will automatically vanish. Right? Because chapter 9, verse number 4 will get applicable. Maya tatam idam sarvam. Right? I am in everything. They are not in me. So this vasana, I am in that vasana, but vasana is not in me. The moment you sit down and do that Advaitic Vichara, it automatically will vanish. That's the, so Sravanan, Mananan, Nididhyasana are stages. For us, I think there should have been a fourth stage. They have not prescribed it for us. But Sravanan, Mananan, Nididhyasana सब कुछ करने के बाद भी नहीं होता है, तो और एक fourth stage क्या है? वो पूछना पड़ेगा. So, but Sravanan is that instant click that happens. Now, going back to that particular fear, I have seen in meditation camps, I've seen people getting into this meditation, and then after the first round, they refuse to sit in the second round. People go into Vipassana and they run away. Right? When I did Vipassana, people had to actually climb over the wall and run away. They had to leave their things and run away. They used to lock you inside. But now it has become much easier. You cancel your registration, you move out. You don't get a refund, but you go. You take your things and you go. Why? Why am I afraid? Because I am afraid of losing my sense of identity. See, you got a glimpse. But you could not stay in that glimpse. So before you tasted that ananda, you withdrew. And because you withdrew, you've got again into duality. And the moment you have duality, you have fear. Sri Thakur used to ask, there is a lake of Amrita, and a bird comes near it, very thirsty bird. How should the bird drink the Amrita? What should be the answer? So most people give the answer saying, kinare pe baithega, chonch dalega,
Drown in Amrita.
So then Thakur starts laughing and says, it is Amrita. You cannot drown and die over there, jump into it. But that's what we are not ready to do because of our identification with the body, mind, intellect. Sorry.
Actually, sir, Samir, the point that you touched here, very important. We also get it. It's not that we don't get it. It doesn't stay with us 24/7. We wish it stays with us 24/7.
Answer is vichara. That is the only answer. That is the only answer. Vichara is the only answer. The more time you spend in vichara, the more it will become part of you. See what we do. What if you go to, say, for example, you go to do any physical training, right? You go for this physical training, you will be told to be consistent. Why? Then he says that your mind and your muscle will operate together. You will not make a mistake afterwards because you've been doing the same thing again and again, right? Of late, I've been learning karate. Now, my teacher, he's a black belt. He started when he was 8 years old. He's been, I think he's 22, 23 years he has been doing this. And he's been teaching for the last 10 years. So he does those forms. We call them kata, right? He does those forms. He can close his eyes and he does the forms. There will be no mistake. Because even in his sleep, he cannot make a mistake. Why? Because the mind and the muscle have got so connected that it has become him. Similarly, continuous, consistent practice of vichara will make it so evident that anytime you are seeing something, you actually are withdrawing from there to operate in the real world. Now, right now, we are doing the reverse. We are doing the reverse. We are forcing ourselves to go beyond what we call the real world and into the world of Sat. See, Thakur used to say, I have to hold myself back. Right? He used to ask for tobacco. He used to use a hookah A hookah in Bengali is called gorgora because it makes that sound, right? It's an onomatopoeic word. Gorgor, it makes. So he used to say gorgora ta anre tamad dere, right? Bring the tobacco, give the gorgora. Why? Because he's explained it himself. You can get it in gospel. He says that without this hook, I will not be able to come back. I will not be able to retain myself because that is the reality. This is all apparent. Because of the intense sadhana. He's not born that way. All those hagiographic stories I don't accept. Oh, there was somebody sitting in the high heaven and he decided to come down and he did his all. That's all. I'm sorry to use this word, but it's all bullshit. He lived a life that we can live. Right? Yes, Raghuji.
So, Sadhguru has this app, and every day there is one thought for the day kind of thing, one quotation. And today the quotation was very interesting. It says, your obsession and your participation in your obsession is not about right and wrong. It is about bondage and freedom. This, you're taking part in obsession. You don't start judging yourself. You're doing right or you're doing wrong. Is it trapping you, or is it? Are you really free from it? Are you in control or are you being controlled? That's a very interesting concept.
True. So and our biggest obsession is the obsession of the world around us, isn't it? I mean, forget the smaller habits of alcoholism or whatever else. The world around us itself is the largest obsession that we have got stuck into. Hence, these so many examples. And in this particular example, he changes the focus and says, one was the misperception that you were getting, either because of your mind or because of your indriyas. And second is what you now have always believed to be true. Waves, vessels are nothing but an expression of this jagat. Why can I not see that? I cannot see that because my instruments are not yet perfected. So what do? Perfect the instruments. How do I do that? Vichara. How do I do vichara? To do vichara requires immense amount of concentration. To give that, you need to learn how to bring your mind to be stable. And which is why Gurudev always used to say, number one, be able to sit down physically in one place. Do japa. Right? I mean, in the purest Advaita tradition, japa has no place. Japa is not. Japa what? Japa of what? Japa of what? There is no japa. There is nothing required for japa. No, but Gurudev, I would call him a neo-Advaitist, where he understands that our mind cannot reach that plane of Advaita in one jump. Right? To give a beautiful analogy, see, when you need to jump across the ocean, you need to have that complete surrender of your ego. Then you can jump. Right? On the banks of the ocean, the whole Vanar Sena has reached. And they now don't know where to go. Sita has not been found. So they all sat down. They got darbha grass. They spread darbha grass on the seashore. And they said, we will fast unto death. A large vulture was sitting behind and said, wow, for centuries I have been hungry. Now food has come to me. And he started waddling over there, waiting to get to eat these monkeys. At that time, Jambavan was reciting the events that have led them to this particular point. And he mentions the name Jatayu. And this vulture stops. Did you mention Jatayu? What happened? I am Jatayu's elder brother, Sampati. We flew up to the sun. But it became so hot. So to protect Jatayu, who is here, my younger brother, I spread my wings and gave him shade. But my wings got burnt and I fell on this earth. Because of my sacrifice, Surya Dev himself gave me this blessing. That when you hear the name of Sri Ram, your wings will start growing again. What happened? What is happening? What is the story of Jatayu? So the story was told. He hears the word Sri Ram, his wings started sprouting. Sampati says, I have to also return this favor to you. I have been blessed with sight across the world. And I can see 100 yojanas in the distance, in the Ashok one, the lady that you are seeking is sitting over there. Oh, now we have found her. So Nal says, okay, now we have found her, let us go back. Hanuman says, no. Somebody has to go and verify. Some old vulture comes and gives us a story. We cannot go back to Ram and say, some vulture told us a story. Usne bola. Usne bola is not enough. Right? Pratyaksha pramana. Sampati is not even apta. We don't know him. So, so now what happens? So they said, fine, who will cross the ocean? So Nal says, I can jump 10 yojanas. Neil says, I can jump 20. Makaranda says, I can jump 30. Jambavan says, I'm sorry, I have become old. At one point of time, I could have jumped and gone around the world 3 times. But now I have been living from the Satya Yuga. And we are ending the Treta Yuga itself. So I cannot jump. But I can guide you. So then Hanuman says, Angad says, I believe in Sri Ram, I can jump 100 yojanas, but I don't know if I will have the strength to come back. Hanuman says, I can do it. Right? He is reminded of his powers, that's a different story. And I can do it. We have to become Hanuman. No ego. And he goes across this ocean, isn't it? 100 yojanas. And comes back. That journey can only happen through continuous, intense vichara. But for that, japa is necessary. And when we start doing japa, what we start doing is also eroding, chipping away at that mountain of ego that we carry. 84 lakh yonis of ego that we carry. Right? Ego is what? Ahamkara, isn't it? Ego is ahamkara. Not ego as in, oh, he's an egoistic person. We are all egoistic in that sense. Because we all have that I that we carry. So verse number 64, he says, Ghatanamna yatha prithvi, patanamna hi tantava. Ghatanamna yatha prithvi. Again, similar example. Pot, it's not a pot, it is mud, it is clay. Cloth? No, it is not cloth. It is the threads that make up the cloth. Jagannamna chida bhati, yeyam tattad bhavataha. So he says that this consciousness, chida bhati means shines. This consciousness alone shines forth, appears. Right? I explained last time. Satchidananda, there is another word for it. We call it asti bhati priyam. Asti, it exists. Bhati, it shines. Priyam, it is dear. What is dear to me? I am dearest to myself. In the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Yajnavalkya explains to his wife that the husband loves the wife and the wife loves the husband because of the self that it recognizes in each other. The father loves the son, and he goes on of that particular in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. So therefore, he says, Jagannamna chida bhati gneyam tattad bhavataha. They are only by abhavataha, by removing the names, that we have given, by removing the form is visible to me. I have given a name to that form. See, and because that name is so powerful, The name is so powerful that the moment I say pot, and I ask you to close your eyes and I say pot, some sort of pot will appear in your head, isn't it? A reality got created by the mere utterance of the word pot. So by negating the name and continuously dissecting to say, what is the cause of this? What is the cause of this? What is the cause of the cloth? Red is the cause of the cloth. Now go further. What is the cause of the thread? Oh, cotton is the cause of the thread. What is the cause of cotton? Cotton becomes the tree is the cause, etc., etc., etc. This is intense vichara, where each of these thought strains will lead us to that particular point of it exists, it is conscious, and it is ananda. So, getting away from this world of OET, right? So, if you know Gurudev's chart, BMI, OET, and PFT. So, we are the perceiver. So, there are objects, so on and so forth. So, getting away from this world of objects, emotions, and thoughts to be stable in that particular sense of where we actually are requires us to start reading the text from a Manan perspective and take each shloka, do a deep Manan on that, stabilizing both the mind and the body. And prepare yourself for that. Do 15 minutes of japa, 15 minutes, 45 minutes of japa. Once your mind has become stable, disconnected from the rest of the turbulences that are bound to happen, then this process can work. Let's end for the day. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.